What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're taking a look at the horror anthology All Hallows Eve, written and directed by Damien Leone in his directorial debut. The story of this movie is as follows. Like I said, this movie is presented as an anthology series, so the framing device of this story is this. These kids are hanging out with their babysitter on Halloween. They poured a bag of candy all over the place, and they discover a mysterious black video cassette. Who has a VCR in 2013? I don't know. Anyway, they watch this set, and they discover that it has 3 separate segments on it, all which feature this mysterious psychopathic clown known as Art the Clown. Yes. All Hallows Eve was the movie that was the feature-length movie that pretty much debuted Art the Clown. So, without further ado, let's just speed right along this review. Overall, I thought All Hallows Eve was decent. I thought this was a decent directed movie by Damien Leone. You can tell that it's done on a shoestring budget, but to his credit, he makes the most of what he does. Now, I'm someone who does like horror anthology movies, so I like the whole concept that he brought up with this. But at the same time, you can also tell that Damien Leone, he didn't really want to do a horror anthology. He wanted to do a movie that was focused more on Art the Clown, which he would eventually do with Terrifier 3 years after this. But like I said, for how this movie is as a whole, it's okay. The framing device segments I think are pretty cool with the babysitter and the 2 little kids. The 3 short segments they watch, mixed bag. I think the first 2 are weak, but the last one is the best one. But what this movie does have going for it is Art the Clown, who is played by Mike Giannelli in this film. This is before David Thornton Howard took over the role, and in which he completely owned it. Giannelli, he pretty much laid the groundwork for the Art the Clown character, and then Thornton took the role, made it his own, and now Art's awesome. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Giannelli's performance on Art the Clown before I really get into this movie. He is the prototype of the clown. Art didn't really have a whole lot of mannerisms yet, except for some distinct things like his never-ending grin, the trash bag, his look. But his characteristics and the way he moved, that was all from Thornton Howard once he took over the role and Art got his feature-length movie. So, with the gushing over Art the Clown, let's talk about these 3 segments real quick. All right, so the first segment is called The Ninth Circle. This woman is in a train station. She gets kidnapped by Art the Clown after she comes into contact with him. He fucks around doing the Art the Clown things, and the next thing you know, she wakes up in a basement with 2 other girls. They get attacked by this mutated monster, and then you find out that Satan wants to do something with them. There's a pregnant girl there. They kill the fetus. The first segment sucks. I'm sorry. I think the Ninth Circle is the most stupidest one out of all of them. It's gross for the sake of being gross. The overall story of the Ninth Circle is so paper thin, it's ridiculous. This segment sucks. The only good part about the Ninth Circle is the first 5 minutes with Art the Clown. Once Art the Clown disappears from this segment, it all goes downhill, and I just don't like it. Though I give Damien Leone credit, the practical effects that he uses, for the most part, they're not bad. The imagery will stick in your head, but the overall story behind this segment is terrible. I don't like it. The next segment focuses on a girl named Caroline who is alone in her new house by herself, and she gets attacked by this alien threat. This segment is just there. I think it's better than the first. I think it's better than the first segment because it's more straightforward. But that ain't saying much. The overall look of the alien, it looks like a party town costume. Like, it's so cheaply made. Now, to Damien Leone's credit, he originally wanted it to use puppetry, but because of his budgeting and time constraints, it couldn't happen. So it's just basically some guy in a costume. But to the actor's credit, he did a good job at creating like this otherworldly body language for the alien. So it comes across as kind of sort of creepy. and it does. And this segment does have some decent, suspense and paced scares. So I'm not gonna overly bash it, even though it's really just a woman. Even though it's just Caroline running all over the place, hiding from an alien. The only cool thing is that once the alien catches her and she's being dragged off, we see a portrait of Art the Clown, which is creepy and menacing and just looks right at you. And that actually ties into a subplot that the segment starts off with, because the girl, Caroline's husband, is a painter, and he created this painting that is creeping Caroline out. At the end, we get revealed to what that painting is, and it's art. So that's pretty cool. Like, he has a looming presence in this segment. And the final segment is actually known as the Terrifier, which focuses solely on Art the Clown, and this is the best segment out of the three. This focuses on Art the Clown. This movie, this specific segment laid the groundwork for the Terrifier feature-length movie. Pretty much, this costume designer is being chased around by Art the Clown after she sees him murder a gas station attendant. And this and this segment has got a lot of just really gruesome bits, like the scene of Art sawing off the gas station attendant's head is just grimy, and the sadistic smile that he has on his face is fantastic. The whole grindhouse aesthetic with the film grain on this segment looks fantastic as well. It looks great. It's like you're watching a 1970s grindhouse movie. Art the Clown, he's just vicious, and he's just gnarly and nasty. And then you have the last segment, the last thing you see of this segment is Art catching the girl, and then you see that she has no arms, no legs. They're all cut off, and he writes these obscenities all over her, calling her bitch, slut, cunt, stuff like that. It's just gnarly, but it's fun. The Terrifier was a fun little segment, but it also has this really cool scene where during the chase, the costume designer locks herself in this room, and we think that she's safe, and then all of a sudden Art starts coming up from the ground, and it's a cool fucking visual of him just crawling up from the dirt. I love it. It's good stuff. Yeah, the third segment really saves this movie. So once all the segments are one and done, the babysitter, she's completely freaked out for what she sees. Now, throughout the movie, it cuts back to the kids and the babysitter, where she's telling them, go to sleep, which they eventually do. Once the tape ends, she gets all creeped out by it. Then then as she's trying to take the tape out, she sees the image of Art the Clown walking to the TV and banging on it. She starts to get freaked out. She goes upstairs to check the kids. She sees an image of Art. She gets freaked out. But once she walks into the room, she sees that the kids are brutally dispatched. So basically, the movie tries to imply that the tape was real the whole time, and that she could possibly be in the next segment if a new anthology tape was to be made. It's weird. Like, the wraparound segments are a little bit weird. The ending is a little bit weird, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, those are my thoughts on All Hallows Eve in terms of laying the groundwork for Damien Leone as a director. It was fine for what it was. It's decently directed. It's got some cool moments here and there. The first segment, not a big fan of. The second segment, it's okay. The third segment saves the whole movie. The wraparound segments, they're nicely done, decently paced, with a nice little gory payoff at the end when the babysitter finds the kids dead. So yeah, overall rating for All Hallows Eve, I'm gonna give it a solid 6 out of 10. Actually, no, that's too high. I'm gonna give it a solid 5 out of 10. Middle of the road, but it's not bad. So yeah, those are my thoughts on All Hallows Eve. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.